All right, everybody, we're back. We're back again. We made it to episode three. I'm Jared Call, your host. That's Jessica Call, my co-host. Jessica, how are we feeling on this Wednesday? We're recording it on a Wednesday. You're going to listen to this on a Friday, but how are you feeling this day, today?
Today was the first day of BYU fall camp, which I thought it was the 31st. Everything I've Googled. So it was actually kind of a surprise today. I woke up and I was like, oh, a day early. That's fun.
Yep.
Yep.
I
And
didn't.
yeah, it reminds me of the summer of 2016. Beforehand, I remember me like little 15-year-old, 16-year-old Jessa writing in her journal, like, okay, 28 days left, 27 days left. Every journal entry, that was the beginning. So we're in that mode right now. So,
Oh, yeah. And we're
yeah.
close. We're very, very close.
Yeah.
Let's see. I actually have a countdown right here.
Oh.
We have, we only have 23 days, 21 days until college football. 21 days and change from Friday
And is the
till college
first
football,
game
till week
Iowa
zero.
State? Is that Iowa State and Kansas State
Oh, yeah.
in
In
Dublin?
Dublin, Dublin, Ireland,
Sweet.
on the rocky road to Dublin.
Let's go.
Anyway, first day fall camp for BYU football. Let's just dive right into it. Like you said, it was a surprise. I didn't know that it was going on until I opened up YouTube and saw the highlights and all the press conferences right there. Um, so yeah, I mean, like you said, we're counting down the days. It feels like we can just taste it now
Yeah.
that fall camp is actually going on. It feels really nice.
Yep. Yep. And as I was looking at this and as I was thinking about what we were going to talk about today, I'm like, this, because of the quarterback battle and everything, um, there's no chance that we're going to over scrutinize and overreact. There's no way. Like, this
No
is the
way.
first time we're
No way.
seeing like the new quarterbacks play. So obviously, we're going to be chill and objective and not make any overreactions here, right? Would you agree?
No, no, no. Of
Great.
course, of course. We're going to be very measured in our approach. We're going to take everything with a grain of salt. We're going to,
Yeah.
see how it all plays out. Be very patient with the
Yep.
process.
Because we got a whole 8 minutes of content. So
It,
that's
it
pretty
was
good.
it was only 8 minutes. We're going to remember that as we go through this. There's probably a lot that we haven't seen or heard.
Yep.
Um, my first takeaway is that one, I've already power ranked the starting quarterbacks.
Great.
Okay, my
Yep.
number one takeaway. Okay,
Great.
we saw the press conferences from each of them, and I've already power ranked them. One, Trayson Bourget, however you say his last name. Okay, he's giving off Sam Hartman vibes with the beard and the hair, right? A little bit of a kind of wily vet, old hardened kind of guy.
Hmm.
Very confident. He has my vote. That is this according to his press conference. He's the guy. Second guy in my power rankings, Bear. Probably the best hang of the group. Like if I'm gonna go hang out with a quarterback, I'm thinking Bourget is gonna be too focused on like football. Bear is gonna be the one that's gonna like play sting pong with you and go bowling and hang out.
Play
He's
some
gonna be a chill
Catan,
hang.
you know? Yeah.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Exactly. Get some Catan rolling. He does give off big freshman vibes. Uh, not really media trained, doesn't exactly know the best way to talk. Um, Third of my power rankings is McKay Hillstead. I don't want to see this guy in the field. He's short, he's got a buzz cut, and he gives off dweeb vibes.
That's
Major,
so
major
funny.
dweeb vibes.
Oh my God. You know
Um,
what? Wait, hold on. I have to say, I actually like the buzz cut. Is that weird? Because I
really?
think it makes him look older and makes him like, and I'm like, oh, this guy means business. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So,
no, no, that's true.
but everything else I agree with.
Yeah, if he
So,
had like a mullet or something, then I'm thinking like the junior that thinks he's a senior already in high
oh yeah.
school.
Hmm. Yeah,
Anyway,
totally.
that's my very low key no overreactions. Is
Yeah.
immediately power ranking based on their 3.5 minute press conferences.
Yeah. And I agree. Like after 2 minutes of watching, because the order I watched them in, I watched Bears first because that's the one that popped up and had the most views, unsurprisingly. Because, and I think the reason why is because his upside is just we hear so much about his upside, right? So people are really
Yeah,
excited about Bear. And it was, I agree. Like he was not media trained, but like real and kind of joking around with the media,
yeah,
right? And the media is like over laughing at his jokes. Just a likable kid, you know?
yeah. Very
And then
loose.
McKay kind of made me a little bit anxious. Like, is he really confident in front of the mic? And then Bourget, I was like, run through a brick wall. I was like, this dude wants the starting job. Give him the ball. Give it
Yep.
like yeah. So I'm right there with you, which is interesting because a week ago we both said like, hey, McKay is probably going to be the guy, and now
Right.
I kind of hope it's not McKay.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So,
So
I mean, obviously that's our list. It is not subject to change. It is going to stay that way every single week throughout practice as we hear more information. And come week one, starting job has to go to Bourget now. Absolutely has to,
absolutely
based
has
on
to.
that, based on that little press conference. Kalani also spoke to the media. Classic Kalani. This was made me laugh out loud. Reporter goes, "Hey, coach, can you tell us like what are the strengths of each of the different quarterbacks? You know, like what makes them unique?" And Kalani goes, "They can all throw the ball, and that's really what we want from them." Two thumbs up, Kalani. Thank you. Great job.
Good to
I
know
mean,
where
I
your
can do my job now.
expectations were. Yeah, like you had a question if they could throw the ball. Okay, cool. Glad you got that confirmation.
Right, right.
Yeah.
I would very much hope they can. So I guess that means that we're in a good spot, right? If our quarterback can have the ball leave his hand and go through the air instead of going straight to the ground, apparently that is just the baseline. So good job, Kalani.
Yep. And so let's add that to the list of epic fall camp quotes where
Oh, yeah.
they can throw the ball and they've had more good days than they've had bad.
Oh,
That's how we're feeling about our QB room.
classic.
Great.
That
That's
instills a
awesome.
lot of confidence.
Yep. One thing I thought that was interesting that Kalani said, and we'll get into the highlights, but he did say they spread the reps around today. So like in the highlights, we saw some guys like Ace Kafusi and Demooney, like the fourth string or fifth string running back. And so that was interesting to me. And so I'm excited to see when they start narrowing it down to ones and
Mhm.
twos. Like I'm started to see those groups come together. And the other thing I thought was cool was he was really confident like seven guys could start with for us on the O line today. Like that was cool. And I hope that's legit. Like I hope that confidence comes through, but they're looking for 10. So
I mean,
yeah.
given BYU's track record, we're going to need all seven of them
Yep.
this year at some point, right?
Yep.
So
Yeah.
it's a
And
good thing
depth
we're
at
that
every
confident.
position too. Like you
Yeah.
see, even on defense last year, tons of young guys got reps, and now it's helping us, build on that. But yeah, in order to make a run and sustain success, we have to be deep. So I hope that we are deep.
Me too. Me too. And I mean, Kalani obviously hopes so as well. In his press conference, there were multiple answers where he harped on getting young guys reps, building depth, tackling in practice so that they can see guys do different things. And he's like, some of the vets that don't need to prove they can do it, like we won't have do it, but we need to see the young guys like hit. We need to see LJ break tackles. The only way to really prepare is to go live. So, I mean, hopefully that doesn't mean injuries, but I do like to see that Kalani is focusing on that development part instead of doing the whole Lane Kiffin like, hey, let's bring in 20 transfers and throw them on the field and see if it works, and then if not, like we'll do it again next year. I do
Yeah.
like to see that we're building from high school recruiting and the early transfers and kind of developing those players because
Yeah.
I mean that's going to help bring depth, but then also that's how you build a championship team.
Totally. Yep. Speaking of bringing guys in, this is random, but I thought Bear was gonna, not Bear, I thought Tiger was gonna wear number 24. He was wearing number 19. So that's something to
Oh,
watch out for.
interesting.
Yeah. I thought he was gonna be wear 24 for some reason, but he caught a pass and I was like, who is that? It's Tiger.
Yeah,
So
that's I'm gonna have to do a lot of roster learning,
me
lots of
too.
roster learning.
Yep.
Yeah, maybe I'll get on Twitter just so I can see those tweets from all the guys that cover BYU with the
Yeah.
little the fall camp spreadsheet things.
Yep. And you've got it, but you've got to muddle through all the crap too. There's a lot of Utah fans on there too, and stupid BYU fans. Those guys are just idiots. So
Yep, we do. We are definitely not them. Okay, we're not
no,
idiots. We're
obviously
very intelligent,
we're
very put together.
and we are so respectful when we talk about the Utes. Like you would never know that we're BYU fans, and like yeah, you would never know that we
Right?
don't root for Utah.
No, no, no. We are never disparaging. We are never
No,
ill will wishing. We are never cursing for generations and generations upon their posterity. No, that's
accusing
not
head
us.
coaches of making deals with the devil like that unheard of. No.
No, 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 no. Definitely not. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just skip our last episode if you haven't listened already.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's go on to the highlights. Speaking of the highlights, it was funny. I love breaking down the highlights because obviously they shoot like 6 hours worth of footage and then they cut it all down to like 2 minutes. So you really only see what the team wants you to see. So you can't
Exactly.
really like take too much from it.
Because it's
But I
released
love
from the school. Like it's only,
exactly.
yeah, it's not reporters in there. It's like the school deciding what they want to release. Yeah.
Yep, yep. And working for a football team, I can confirm that there is a lot of stuff left on the chopping block. There's certain throws that you cut it after the quarterback's out of the frame because you don't want to see who threw that duck. So that is very much a thing that teams do. Um,
Interesting.
but anyway, a couple of my takeaways. One, lots of catches from JoJo Phillips. Saw him. He had like probably 75% of the catches that they showed in those little 2 minutes. Hillstead he was the main quarterback that they showed in that video, which I find really interesting because when the media was doing the press conferences, they mentioned that it looked like Trayson and Bear got most of the highlights or got most of the reps.
Interesting.
So obviously, like the media doesn't get to see all of practice, and they're going to feed us whatever they want to feed us in the highlights. But it probably lends itself to the fact that they did split up reps evenly, right? If we're seeing Hillstead a lot and then Trayson and Bear a lot. Last thing, all the quarterbacks look small. Not gonna lie, every single time they're on the field, them and the running backs, they just look small.
Okay, I
Maybe it's
have
because
a
they're not wearing
question
their
about that.
pads. Yeah, yeah,
Is
yeah.
it our running backs looking small, or is it our O linemen and D linemen looking huge, or a combination of both?
Let's totally lean into the side that our lines are just massive. We
Okay.
have hogs on the offensive line.
Yeah, let's go.
They just make our quarterbacks look so small, and our big, ugly, bad running backs just look tiny next to our linemen because they're so huge.
Yeah, let's lean into that. I do know Andrew Gentry is 6'8", 350, like some three something, 300 plus. So
That's P4
he's
size.
huge. But yeah, they did look small. I agree.
What were some of your takeaways from the highlight video? All 236 of it or
I
whatever it
know.
was.
All 236. Well, it kind of reminds me of last year. Because we were in the same spot last year of just overanalyzing and
Yep.
picking apart every piece. Um, and it looks and sounds like, based on what Kalani said and based on the highlights, that defense won day one. Like, if
Yes.
you were to lay it
100%.
out, right? Like, defense, guys were flying around on both sides of the ball, but definitely on defense. We've never heard
Yeah.
that saying before. So that's not surprising to me.
Yeah.
And honestly, like, I'm going to choose to be optimistic about that. And
Yeah.
hopefully it'll make our offense better because obviously there's going to be kinks to be worked out. Um,
Yeah.
and to your point as well, seeing JoJo fly around the field, right? Like I hope he blows up this year. Like I hope he's Darius with less mistakes and blow ups and drops and stuff.
Yeah. You
Like
can't count on Darius until the second half
yeah,
after he's gotten all
exactly.
his 3rd and 5 slant drops out of the way.
Exactly. And I want him to take pressure off of Chase, right?
Yes.
Like
100%.
so I was listening to Sports Nation and they were talking about they're really interested to see who takes the wide receiver 3 spot because it's like Chase and Parker. I don't know that Parker is going to
Mm,
be that number 2 wideout guy. Like he's really good
yeah.
in the slot and in the return
Exactly.
game, but I think you need another guy that'll stretch the field and I'm hoping that's JoJo and Tiger.
Right. And
Yes.
and JoJo has the size too. Like
Yeah.
he looks really tall. I mean, obviously they didn't all have their pads on, and so it all looks a little funky. But yeah, you have Chase on one side, probably JoJo on the other side. We saw that a little bit later in the year last year. And then you have Parker, who's obviously not big enough to be like a sideline receiver, but he's going to play in the slot, right? And be kind of your gadget back.
Yep.
Um, and then as far as the defense winning the day, that's something that actually happened at the Falcons camp too. The defense tends to win early in camp, and then it starts to even out, and the offense will have a good day. Then the defense will go back on top, and so especially early in camp when you're not hitting, the defense tends to look a little better, and I think that's just completely normal. That's just how it is.
Okay, that's interesting. Is that because like why do you think that is? Is that because of scheme? Is that because defense relies more on just like fly to the ball? When you don't know what to do, just fly to the ball.
I think it's 100% that. I mean, one is obviously like they're not fully hitting, at least in BYU's case right now,
True.
right? BYU's not fully hitting, so something that looks like a sack is maybe not a sack, or something like LJ has no chance to break tackles, for example.
Yeah.
It in a touch only practice. But then also, like you were saying, like the offense has to work on timing and scheme and getting everybody on the same page. And if Bear's throwing a ball and it's going to be a slant, then he has to know exactly where Chase Roberts is going to be in relation to the defense and stuff. Whereas the defense just has to get in the way and muddy stuff up. So it's going to look
Yeah.
a lot. It's going to be a lot easier for the defense to mess up the offense than it is going to be for the offense to confuse the defense, if that makes sense.
Okay. That's encouraging. That's encouraging.
Yeah.
Great. Well, awesome. Okay, I'm going to read this tweet from Jerem Jordan in the spirit of not overreacting. Okay, it's about
Oh, of
Bear.
course.
He says
Of
it
course.
was one practice, but I'm more inclined to feel like BYU is willing to give Bear Bachmeier an equal opportunity with McKay Hillstead and Trayson Bourget for the starting QB spot than I planned on. That's rare for a true freshman. In the limited time we had watching in the end of practice, Bear had reps with the ones on day one and was getting the ball out quickly. Again, we didn't see the whole practice, but that combined with learning, he had a pretty good day, tells me he's going to legitimately be in the mix. Still a month to go. It'll be a journey to get to game day. Aaron Roderick and the staff don't care about anything else but starting the guy who helps them have a chance to win the most, even if it's a true freshman. So I think like him, Bear joining the team post spring, everybody had a big question of how is he going to do as a true freshman? Like in
Right.
reps, is he going to crumble? Because there's the chance that he gets in there and is just not prepared at all for D1 ball.
Right.
So I think that's a sign leaning towards, okay, we've answered that question, that at least he's acclimating better than worst case scenario, you know?
Yes.
So we'll see where it goes. And I hope he absolutely kills it. Like I would love to see him go out there on September or August 30th. Like I would love that.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see. Not an overreaction, right? But a question
Definitely
answered.
not. Definitely
Yeah.
not.
No.
Here's another just plain and simple question, just very normal. Are you slamming the panic button if Bear Bachmeier wins the starting job? Because he is a true freshman, right? If he beats out Trayson Bourget and I say his name differently every single time, and McKay Hillstead, is that like a bad thing? Like, are we thinking, oh my gosh, we have to start a true freshman because our other guys aren't that good? Or would you see it more of, hey, this guy must really be like the answer?
That's a good question. And personally, I don't think I would because I feel like that sentiment was the same thing at the beginning of last year with
Mm,
Jake. It was like
yeah,
Gary's coming in, he's made it to the Big 12 championship, he's won a Sugar Bowl, right? Um well, maybe not. I don't know. But maybe he hadn't been good, but like we'd seen Jake play the year before and we know how that went, right? So we were like, he's the
we do.
best we've got. Gary really must have fallen off, like at USF. Like he must be washed. Like that's what it
Yeah.
was, and it ended up fine. Um, Also, I think Bear's the highest rated quarterback, and so it's like I think
Yeah.
there's an argument to be made that he's just good, and the other guys have not played at that level and were not recruited at that level. So there's
Yeah.
that. But I'm going to put it at like 60-40, to be honest. Of 60% not panicking, 40% after a game or two, maybe we start panicking.
Yeah. Yeah.
How about you? Are you pushing the panic button? Is the lid
I'm gonna
open?
be like, I'm like 75% panicking if Bear McCoy wins the job. I'm not gonna lie. He's a true freshman. He came from Stanford and he wears the number 47. Like, none of that is good, right? None of that is good, especially at BYU, right? So I'm gonna wait and see. Obviously, like we'll know the answer to this question like at the bye week, right? After Portland State and Stanford, and then even throw ECU in there, like we'll know exactly where we stand if past the season or we might have something here.
Yeah.
I think we'll know by just even in those first two games. I think we'll know because I think Stanford will kind of like we were talking about last time. Like they're not in a good spot, but I'm sure they'll put up enough of a fight for us to really see who we have at quarterback.
Yeah. And that's the other thing is we can't sneak up on teams anymore. Culturally, I know Kalani is going to try and play the underdog card, but
Of
for
course,
9 of our games, you can't play the underdog card because we're probably going to be favored. So you've got to
Right.
go in, and your motivation has got to come from we're going to dominate. And if you're going to dominate, you got to blow teams out, Kalani. You got to
Yep.
put up 70. Like, it is
Yes.
not good for your team to get out there and to pull back on the reins. Like, that is just not good for your team because there's always a question of how hard am I going to push the pedal down, you know?
Yep.
But if you just go out there and rip teams apart every game, there's no question, right? It's like Nick Saban
Right.
put up 70, 50 points on teams and never,
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll see how it goes. Here's what I will say about the Trayson or Bear. If
Yeah.
Trayson comes out on and if he wins the job, I'm going to be very comfortable. If
Yes.
Bear wins the job, I'm going to have a heck of a lot of fun. I'll be honest. So that's kind of where I sit.
No, that's fair. That's very fair. If Trayson is named the starting quarterback and he goes out there, I'm gonna be like, okay, low key, like I know what we're gonna get. He's probably gonna be a dink and dunk champion or a dink and dunk merchant. He might make an explosive play every now and then, but like I have confidence that he's not gonna just turn the ball over and go like, early Zach Wilson or early Jake Retzlaff on us.
Yeah.
Whereas if Bear goes out there, I'm just like biting the fingernails, right?
It's going to be
Absolutely just terrified.
yeah, every time the ball is snapped, it's going to be like crazy. And the
Yeah.
adrenaline junkie, I'm not an adrenaline junkie, but the part of me that loves chaos in college football would absolutely like love that. I would have to forget about wins though, you know?
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. For sure.
It's going to be a very interesting season. Did anything that we saw or heard from the first day of fall camp change your expectations for the season? Were you like, hey, I feel a lot better about X, Y, or Z, or oh, I feel a lot worse about X, Y, and Z?
Okay, there was one thing that Kalani said about the D line because tons of turnover in that room, right?
Right.
Um,
Yep.
and I mean, you lose leadership in Tyler Batty, right? And Kalani sounded like we've replaced those guys with bigger and better bodies, is what he said, like better athletes. And so I was worried about the D line, and him saying that made me feel maybe a little bit less worried. We'll see what we actually see on the field, but that's an important position. So that was what it was for me. What about you?
I mean, I don't know if I would say today had that same effect on me, but I will say over the past couple of like weeks and months, watching like the mic'd up in the strength and conditioning room, like that was sick. Um, I think my fear about the D line has dissipated a lot more than I thought it would because immediately after last season, seeing what Utah was bringing back on the offensive line, and I was like, oh my gosh, we have no one in the defensive line. Like I know we got Keanu Tanavase, but like I don't know what he is yet. Like I don't remember his name from when we played him. So although I didn't watch the second half of that game, because I went to bed. Anyway, yeah, I will say my fear has dissipated. I don't know if I feel like super confident yet, but I'm with you in saying like my expectations have been raised maybe a little bit. Like
Yeah.
I don't feel negative about it anymore. I kind of just feel like neutral. Like let's go see what happens.
Yeah. You bring up the mic'd up. That Keanu mic'd up video was one of my favorite pieces of BYU content they've ever put out.
Oh my
Like,
gosh,
that
so
was
good.
awesome. And that brings me some peace too. Because like 2023, I remember when we went to the Texas game, and I have a friend who
Yeah.
lives in Austin, and she's a sports psychologist. So she got her
Oh,
master's
sick.
at the University of Tennessee. And so I met her like at halftime, and I was asking her because that team obviously was pretty underwhelming. And I was asking her, like, what do you see looking at this game as a sports psychologist? What do you see about this team? And she was like, honestly, I see like no leadership and no confidence in what they're doing. Like
Yeah, very
when a
interesting.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? And so she's like, I wonder if they're lacking leadership or just like confidence in the direction they're going, because body
Yeah.
language isn't bad. There's just no confidence out there. So seeing Keanu's mic'd up, I'm like, all right, that is not going to be an issue because I have confidence that that guy is going to get the guys kicked into shape. Like, holy cow.
Yes.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting.
He gets an A+ on like leadership and culture.
Yeah.
Absolutely like never thought I would ever say this about somebody who's even sniffed the campus of Utah football. That man is like grade A human being. Put him on the field, put him in the locker room. Like he should have been a part of BYU football from the beginning.
Yes, agreed.
Very cool. And it's not because he went to Utah. He learned nothing there. He's probably fighting off the peer pressure to be a horrible person up there at Utah. Then he comes here. Now he's a great guy.
Yeah.
Now he can be himself. He
Yep.
feels it's a safe space for him to be kind to others.
Yep. Exactly. And it's not up in Salt Lake. It's just not.
No, no.
That's
Well,
awesome.
that wraps up our lovely conversation about staying grounded and very realistic about BLU football fall camp. We have another special guest for you. And he is coming right up after this ad break, which is really just going to be a jump cut, but it's an ad break.
Should we do a clap
Yeah, let's do a
transition?
clap.
Ready? One,
Yep.
two, three.
I don't know if that was in sync. Probably
I don't
not,
think
but
it
it's
was.
fine.
We'll fix it in editing. We're
Yeah,
good.
we'll fix it in post. That's what they
Okay.
say.
Now we're back.
Now
There
we're
we
back.
go. Okay, I'm asking Jared what his day to day looks like for Atlanta Falcons camp because it's in full
Uh,
swing. It sounds like.
it's Atlanta Falcons AT&T 2025 training camp, actually. We got to get the sponsor in there. Okay, that's very
Mhm.
important. Um, so, I mean, let me just read you my schedule yesterday. So we get up, okay. Raheem Morris, head coach, has his press conference at like 9 a.m. So we got to get in there at like 8 a.m., set everything up, make sure it's all going. We live stream it. So then we live stream it, cover it. Then we go out to practice. We either shoot B-roll or just hang out and watch practice, watch for storylines. And then we come back in. The players do all their press conferences after practice, capture all that. Then I shoot a podcast with a couple of former players about what they saw at practice. Then we go to lunch. Then we come back, shoot another podcast with the editorial squad about what they're seeing. Then we get a national media member. It was Dan Graziano the other day. Shoot an interview with him, talk about football, all that kind of stuff. And then the rest of the day is just editing and posting all of those things, plus any other projects. Like we did a live training camp show the other day. And so we had like an after action about that, breaking it all down, what went well, what didn't go well, what are we going to do better next time, that kind of stuff. And then I'm usually getting home at like 6 ish after I finish uploading and posting everything. So that's it.
Wow,
That's the average
That is
day to day. It
crazy.
changes a lot during camp, but yeah, that's average.
that is crazy. And then you
So,
work on being the commissioner of our dynasty on EA College
True.
Football 26. And then you get to record this podcast, which is obviously the best and highest production of anything you do, right?
Oh, very
For
much
sure.
so. Very much. I mean, look at my background, guys. Come on.
Yeah.
Wait, can you tell us any storylines that are developing out of the Falcons
Yeah, I
training?
can. I can. James Pierce Jr. You guys remember him? Tennessee
Yeah.
Falcons traded up back into the first round for him, selected him 26th pick overall, traded with the Rams. Um, he's feisty. He is a feisty guy. He's very
I
like
heard he
soft
got in some
spoken.
fights,
Oh
right?
yeah, two of them, right in
Oh,
front of us. It was crazy. He's just like going like 100% every single rep, and the O line because he's running with the twos. The veteran O line like was not having it, and it was like vets that are like just doing the thing, and then this rookie that's out there trying to prove himself, take on the world, and just lots of that, lots of heads getting hit, and it was supposed to be a no contact day. I saw a lot of contact right there.
I
Uh,
saw
it's just a scuffle, It's just a scuffle. It happens everywhere. It wasn't as bad as whatever what was it? The Chiefs. The Chiefs scuffle was way worse. This one was just yelling and cussing and grabbing. It was fun. It was very fun.
It's normal football
Mm,
stuff.
Yeah, it's
yeah.
just football. They're
Just
just tired
football.
of hitting each other after 2 days of training camp.
Yeah,
Yeah.
don't blame him.
It's gonna get worse before
No,
it gets better type thing.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Anyway, let's welcome on Eli. Elliott Call is our very, very, very special guest. Welcome on, Elliott. We asked the same question to start everything off with everybody. What take do you need to get off your chest today?
Super honored to be here. You guys have been stoked for this podcast since you guys first talked about it. You guys are the best. I think you guys are just super educated too. Unlike, and we'll talk about this a little bit. I have some stuff to bring up. Here's my one big thing, you guys, and I actually brought it up a few weeks ago in Sports Analyst, and it kind of got buried. And I have some points to make on it too. The
We're here.
Saquon Barkley backwards hurdle was not that impressive. That's flaming hot
I
take.
need an explanation here.
So, okay, here it is. Here's your explanation. Number one, if you watch the video, I think his spin move before is way more athletic than the hurdle. Like he puts the dude like on his butt. Like he snaps the guy's ankle with his spin move. And then like okay, let me start from here. I think a front hurdle is more athletic because you have to like commit to it. And there's a million things that could go wrong with the front hurdle. You get clipped, you could get like flipped. Like we've all seen it, right? When who's that tight end that used to hurdle people at BYU?
Oh,
Mason
Mason
Wake.
Wake.
Yeah, Mason Wake. Like he would do it all the time, right? And varying degrees of difficulty, but he would do it and he would get destroyed sometimes. Sometimes it would work, right? I feel like Saquon's hurdle was more of just kind of like a box jump backwards than like an actual hurdle. Like the defender was already going to go low. He kind of saw it out of the corner of his eye. He just kind of instinctively jumped. And I know this is crazy because I could never do this in a million years, but I feel like it's more of like a Patrick Mahomes backyard football play than an
Mm,
actual like athletic, like, oh my gosh, he's so athletic. He's insanely athletic, don't get me wrong. But I think it's more just we've never seen something like that before. So people freaked out about it. That thoughts. That's my flaming hot take.
That
I'm,
is that is spicy. Are you watching
I'm
it, Jared?
I'm watching it right now. The spin move, I think, actually is maybe the most
Right?
impressive part of that play. Now that you say that, the spin move is, yeah. And like,
Do you want me to share my screen? I have
there's
it.
Karen's
I
here.
literally have
Yeah,
it
yeah,
up.
yeah. Yeah. Let's pull it up.
Show the
Because
viewers. I gotta see this spin move.
he does he does start to hurdle like
Yeah.
way before the guy, like it does look like he just turns around and just jumps into the air.
It really does. It really does. Let me hear. Can you guys still
Oh yeah,
see that?
Yeah, I
yeah,
can
we
see
can
it.
see it.
Okay. I turn the volume off. But like this right there. Oh, that's
Oh yeah.
nasty. That's disgusting. Like we don't see many spin moves these days. That was crazy. And
It
and go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say it almost looks like before he hurdles, because again, we don't overanalyze and we don't overreact on this
Of
podcast.
course
We
not.
just talked about that. Um, it almost looks like he's planning to do another spin move and then
Right?
like realizes he doesn't have position, and so he
Yeah.
starts hurdling. So he just jumps and the dude can hop. Okay, keep going.
He just jumps, right? I think you're right, Des. That's a great point out. That's a great call out. And I feel like that's more of almost like a backyard football, like Patrick Mahomes no look pass. It's like, oh shoot, I'm just gonna jump, you know?
Yep.
It's like I think everyone could do okay, not everyone. Most running backs in the NFL could jump that high, right? Could do like a box jump like that. Right. And then I listened to a podcast and after like they were like, dude, after you hurdle him, you get
He gets
like
clocked.
Yeah.
smacked. So
And when he hurdles, he's Lamar Jacksoning the ball. I hate this. I hate it
what?
when people do this.
Right.
As he's hurdling, the ball's like way out there. It's like
Yeah.
Saquon. It's like
Yes.
what,
Look
two
at it.
points of contact? Right?
Right.
If number three starts going before he jumps, like the ball's out.
Totally.
Um,
Totally agree.
I'm gonna pull up a list. I'm gonna share my screen now because here's an example of someone doing a very similar thing that
Ooh,
does not actually work.
Interesting.
journalism. See,
Okay,
live at work.
can you guys see this?
Whoa, this is a deep clip. Holy cow.
Yeah, ready for this? Okay, this guy tried to do something similar and it just doesn't work. I think kind of along the lines like you see that,
Oh
Ooh,
my gosh.
right? Like imagine if this worked, right? And he dolphin dives over two defenders. Like we're talking about like the Saquon hurdle, right? But because it
Yeah.
didn't work, it's like, oh my gosh, this is hilarious. And so if the Saquon hurdle doesn't work,
Oh,
like we're having the same conversation of just like, wow, that was the stupidest play. Like he fumbled, he didn't get the first down, yada yada yada. It's only because it just so happened to work that it is all blown up as like this crazy play. So I think you've convinced me a little bit, Eli. You're starting to sway me on this.
well, I appreciate that. I just as far as and it made me upset because I think he got the SB for like the most athletic play. I mean, Shane Gillis was the best part of the SBs for sure, but
yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm like I feel like I saw more athletic plays this year. You know, like it was really cool and we've never seen it before, but I feel like I was like give me the Marshawn Lynch beast mode run
Oh,
over the backwards hurdle any day,
oh
you
yeah,
know. And
oh yeah.
granted, I don't know if anyone's making that claim, but there it is. There's my flaming hot take.
That is a good take.
That's a great take. That's a
Mhm.
very, very good take. We have just been talking for like 30 minutes about BOU football.
Love it.
So we want to get your immediate thoughts on BOU football. We are just overreacting to every piece of content BOU football posted today, with it being the first
Nice.
day of camp.
Nice.
We want to get your reactions. Well, I mean, first off, last year, 11 wins, hugely disappointing 11 wins, may we add. What are the vibes for you heading into 2025? Obviously the Jake stuff happened, but where are you at?
So I think I'm at my expectations are very tempered this year. Um, Big reason for that is just the quarterback position.
Mm,
And I would love to hear what your thoughts were on Bear. Maybe you already talked about that, but like Bear's press conference earlier because and like I did my homework, you guys, but like over the last 15 years, BYU's had three times where like a true freshman quarterback has come in. Jake Heaps in 2010, we went 7-6. Tanner Mangum 2015, outlier, we went 9-4, won some really close games. And then Zach Wilson, he only played 9 games in 2018, I think, but we went
Yeah.
7-6 that year.
Yeah.
okay.
So, like, for me, I just think this is going to be like a tough year. And granted, I wasn't Jake's biggest fan, like for his athletic performance, his play on the field, and nothing about his court case. Um, and I'll be totally straight up with that. I think they should have started Bohannon earlier,
Oh, I
but
remember hearing it's Gary time a lot
Yes, every
from
week.
Eli in
oh
the
my
chat.
gosh, dude.
Every week.
Every week. I said it during the games. I was there. I was live. I could
Yeah.
go on and on about that. But to in his defense, Jake was in the system for a year and he was a serviceable quarterback. He knew the throws. And I really feel like the chemistry that he had with Chase and some of the other receivers, that would have been huge for us this year. So for me, it all comes down to the quarterback play. And I don't like what I see.
I have a question on that. And maybe this is a discussion we have. But remember at the beginning of last season when we were like, hey, what do we need to see to be satisfied with BYU football? Like, we need to see one red zone touchdown a game. We need to see two highlights, right? Like, starting at the floor, what do you need to see from whoever plays at quarterback to be like, okay, I'm happy with this game, win or lose? Like, they did not lose the game for us. Like, what do we want to be on our list of like lowest expectations for the quarterback?
That's a really good question. You definitely need to write these down again too, Jess, because that was one of the funner parts of the season was seeing when we like the games that we hit those milestones.
Like it, yeah, like
Yeah,
a
so
survey. We
yes,
were
yes,
talking about doing like a sports analyst like AP poll too. Like who's your
Oh
top
my
25?
gosh.
So yeah, we'll do some stuff like
That's
that.
so great, you guys. I'm falling more and more in love with this podcast. Um, bare minimum. Oh, okay. Here's an interesting stat that I found out. You guys probably maybe already knew this. Last year, because I actually red zone offense was a big concern for me. BYU was 49th in the nation, tied for 49th in the nation. We were 87% in the red zone last year,
We
which is,
were.
In
yeah,
just scoring, period, like
just
field goals
scoring,
and
period.
touchdowns.
Oh, scoring.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, not touchdowns. Not I should have looked
Yeah,
up
yeah.
touchdowns too.
I think I have
Um,
touchdowns.
you
Keep going.
yeah, you're and I should have gone off your data, Jessa. I was going off the NCAA website, which is pretty crappy.
Is be
Um,
but it's better data, I think.
well, maybe, I don't know. Really quickly, do you guys know who the top three red zone offenses were last year? I'll
Oh,
give
I
you
guess.
$100 if you guess this.
Okay, wait. Was it Ole Miss? Were they up there?
Nope.
Miami wasn't up there either.
Nope. I'm
Okay.
just
Army?
looking top three.
Is it Army?
top
No,
three.
no. One of them
Ah,
kind of makes sense. The other two will blow your mind.
let's go Georgia Tech.
No, but close.
Okay, okay.
Was it Georgia?
No. Mm-mm.
Okay.
I'm just grasping at straws. I'm gonna guess like no, I don't know.
You
No
ready?
idea.
It's Indiana. They were like 98%.
Okay.
Okay.
And then two was Old Dominion. Three was Georgia Southern.
Is it because they didn't get in the red zone very often?
I
And when they
have
did, they scored?
Probably,
See,
honestly.
that's where you need to come in, Jessa, and check my numbers because I was like, they were like 96% plus. I'm like, what? So maybe they only got in the red zone like 20 times during the season, but
That's crazy.
thought that was
That is
interesting.
wild. That's
That's
hilarious.
crazy.
Anyways, that was yes, I like the red zone thing, Jessa. I think we keep that one. Like because I do think we kicked a lot of field goals last year too. So I think red
Okay.
zone touchdowns
Yeah.
needs to be a base thing. That's what I'll throw in there. What would you
And
guys
I
say?
would add in there no red zone turnovers. I feel like Jake
Yes.
Oh my
turned the
gosh.
ball over in the red zone. Like that, I would say was one of his biggest weaknesses.
Yes.
He like wanted to score so bad that he would force things and turn the ball over. So I would
Are you
agree.
talking,
Right.
you
Red
talking
zone
about Jake?
turnovers, no, no. We need points, touchdowns. We need touchdowns. Yeah.
Wait, are you
Yep.
talking about Jake or A-Rod?
Both.
Okay.
I'm talking about Jake specifically. I actually,
Yes.
this is a hot take. Ready for this? I think yes, A-Rod makes some questionable calls. He plays chess maybe a little bit too much. I think he overthinks his play calls. Um, and sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. But I actually think like Oklahoma, that RPO was on Jake. He checked to that. I
Yes.
think that the corner fade against Kansas, that was on Jake. He checked to that, right? And yes, you can make the argument that A-Rod shouldn't have given him that power, right? But at the end of the day, I think Jake wanted the touchdown. I think like he's such a competitor that he wanted it. And I think that's on Jake. So yeah.
Jessa, we are so aligned on this point. I
Okay.
literally went back and watched that Kansas touchdown in preparation for this, or that Kansas pick.
I'm so sorry.
He had Chase, like the play was to Chase. If you
Wide
watch
open.
it, Chase like throws his hands up after the pick and he's like, dude, I was open. Chase just ran a slant over the middle, was wide open. And he just decided to throw there. So that was another thing for me is like doing a little bit more amateur research on who's really to blame for the offense. Is it really A-Rod or is it poor decisions by the quarterback? Because I do think Jake made some very questionable decisions, especially at the end of games and in the red zone.
Yeah, agreed.
Well, and then leading back to our conversation earlier, Jessa, I think that maybe leans towards Trayson as a quarterback one. He seems very much like, I mean, judging from the press conference, the 3.5 minutes we got of him, he definitely is the best quarterback at listening, following directions, and doing what he's told to do so that they can win the football game.
Okay, yes. On this note, too, this reminds me of something Doug said about Zach Wilson in 2020.
Hmm.
Like, obviously, we loved that 2020 team, but Doug would say at the end of plays, and he said this a little bit about Jaron, too. He's like, he's not willing to go out there and like try and make the play. He's like, I call a read, I do my job, and then I leave the field. When it doesn't work, it's not my fault, right? And I get that perspective. And he'll be like, no, I want a gamer. I want someone who's going to go out there and get the first down no matter what. Um, but I think actually, we need, like, I think that's a sign of a good quarterback is like, no, I'm going to make the reads and I'm not going to make this situation worse. Right. So I actually think that was a strength of like a Zach and a Jaron in those later years is like, sure, the trade off is maybe you don't get those super exciting plays, but also maybe you don't turn the ball over in the red zone. So,
Love that.
Right?
When do you feel like what was the last quarterback that we had that you feel like was like that, like kind of a gamer?
Taysom Hill,
oh yeah,
honestly,
yep.
right? He was the guy that
Yeah.
was going to go out and make stuff happen. But I mean, he also like he could barely throw the ball. Like, let's be honest. Go back and watch the Texas game. He couldn't throw the ball.
He could throw the
but
ball.
but that was kind of good because he couldn't throw picks, right? Like he made the right decision when it was like, oh, I don't know if I can make this throw. It's not like, well, heck, like let's try it. It was I'm gonna tuck it and I'm gonna run for 50 yards and score a touchdown. And I mean, granted, we don't have a guy that can do that anymore. I don't know, maybe Bear. I don't know. I don't know. Um, Eli, what are your thoughts on the quarterback situation? I mean, you have just as much information as the rest of us. Do you have any hard thoughts on who you think it should be, or who you would be worried about if it was this player?
I do. And again, did some homework on this one. So and I brought this up in the group chat too. Okay, I don't know much about Bourget, but I found an interesting stat that kind of ties him to some of this stuff, which is kind of interesting. So McKay Hillstead, like he's 5'10", 195. Also, Jess, of that picture, you should probably send that picture again in the chat of him like with the kids. Do you remember that one that I'm
Yeah,
talking
at the
about?
camp. Yeah.
Oh
Dude,
yeah.
that picture terrified me.
Okay, yeah. So
Terrified me.
I'll send that again in the chat, but just
Yeah.
for context, it's a bunch of like 14-year-olds max, 14-year-olds max, and they're turned around so you can't see their faces, and there's like four of them, and then McKay is on the side, and you literally can't find him in the picture. Like you think he's a 14-year-old. It's
Yeah,
freaking
hand up.
wild.
I didn't know he was in the photo.
Yeah,
Didn't know.
see? See?
I had no idea who you were sending him. I was like, is this from
This
like
is so
maybe
random.
like from like youth night the other night or what is this?
Yeah, right. Okay,
Um,
yeah. So keep going.
so okay, so I did some research, looked at some stats. I actually paid for a Pro Football Reference membership only for it to not give me the stats that I wanted. So
Heck
for
yes.
Sick.
them. But there have been five quarterbacks since 2021 in D1 football who were 5'10" and below. And 5'10 is like the lowest they go. You ready for the names?
Yeah. Oh wait, can I guess?
Please, I would love it
Is
actually.
one of them Noah Fafita?
Hold on.
Or is that
He's not, but I may let me look him
is he
up now.
5'11"? Because he's little, but he might be 5'11".
He is no, he's 5'10", Jessa, you're right. I don't
He's
know why he
5'10".
didn't pull in there.
Oh, he's
Okay.
probably it's probably because it's current. Okay, keep going. Oh, that's the only one.
No, no, no,
Go
no.
ahead.
That's really good to
Oh,
know. Like I
Kyler
said,
Murray?
yeah. Yes, I think 21 or 19. He didn't his last year was I think before
Oh,
2021.
okay, cool. Okay, cool. Keep going.
So
Um
this is since 2021.
since 2021. Yep, you ready? Guy
Bryce
named
Young,
Dan 5'11.
5'11".
All
Wow.
mass.
So these are
He's
shorter than Bryce
5'11.
Young. So if McKay
Shorter than
Hillstead's
Bryce
shorter
Young.
than Bryce Young, we
Yes.
have a problem.
We exactly. Bryce Young's got an insane arm. The list is Daniel Richardson, Chandler Fields, they are kind of nobodies. A guy named Emmett Brown, Back to the Future. Um, and then the last two, crazy enough, Maddox Madsen from Boise State, and our guy, the savior of the world, Devin Dampier, 5'10.
Interesting.
Right? Right?
Feel great to be in the
Maddox
presence of that
Madsen.
name.
Yeah, Maddox Madsen is yeah, exactly. Heisman. Heisman.
Heisman. Heisman.
Yeah,
Mhm.
future Heisman winner.
Um, Maddox Madsen seems like the only name in that list that is proven, like is proven.
It's
But he also had the best running back, arguably in the last
The best running
what?
back I've seen with my own two eyes.
Yeah, since Barry
exactly
Sanders, right? Is that what everybody was
right.
saying?
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
interesting.
And I just like and if you go to 5'11, it pulls in a couple more guys. Funny enough, Trenton Bourget, Tyson's brother is 5'11. He was at Arizona State like 2 years ago, which
Oh,
is
I
kind of an
actually do
interesting
remember that. Yeah.
connection. Yeah, you probably remember that, Jared, being
Yeah.
a Sun Devils fan. Um, and like all like Kyler Murray, I think is 5'11. I think Bryce Young's 5'11. Anyways, my point is like there's just not good data about like quarterbacks that are that short. And unless you have like I feel like a really twitchy ability or just the ability to see the field, or feel the field because you probably can't see it very well at 5'10. I just don't know if it's gonna bode well for us, you know? Like I think about those long like those plays that we run where it's like either a rollout to the right or those long drop back passes. I'm like I feel like he's gonna get lost in the pocket, you know?
Mhm.
So yeah.
It's gonna get stepped on and
Yeah,
like
he's gonna get
squished.
stepped on.
You know how in Mario Kart when you run over somebody when you're huge and they get like
Yes.
flattened? Yeah.
Right. Or like when he goes to like under center do a handoff, like the pulling guard's gonna like run him over. You know, like he's just gonna like truck him and it's gonna be managed. So, anyways, for those reasons, I think Bear should be the guy. He has a family of athletes, a brother who was
So
mediocre college quarterback, or yeah, college quarterback. And I just think he could be in the system for a while and could be a really good guy to bridge us from, well, to take us from him to Rider Lions. He also, this is this random Stanford podcast that said his NFL velo or excuse me, his arm velocity was comparable to that of like an NFL quarterback's arm velocity. So
Mm, he can whip it.
he can whip it. Those are
As
my
a
All right,
facts.
all
freshman.
right.
I mean, he's huge. He does not look like a freshman, so that probably helps with that arm velocity.
Yeah. Interesting. Interesting.
What's
When
your
do you
guys'
need to
take?
see a starter? I'm in the Trayson camp just because I feel like I know what I'm going to get. I mean, Jess and I were just talking about it too. I think Jess, you're the same, right?
Yeah, I'm like, if you want to go low risk, Trayson. If you want to go high enjoyment, go Bear.
I love that. So wait, tell me, is it just because he's been in the system for a year already? 2 years? Year? 2 years? Like, give me the
One
Trayson argument.
1 year, I think, right? Yeah, yeah, 1 year, 1 year. It was last year. I just think because the team around us is so good. Um, I say that because A-Rod. Um, because the team around us is so veteran and good, I think we need a quarterback that's not going to lose us games. If our team around us was like not super great and we're like a West Virginia, then I say go full in on Bear because then your ceiling's higher, right? But maybe I just want a guy with a high floor. So even if he isn't that good, hopefully he can just do enough that the team around us can get us to a victory. That's my ideology.
Hmm. Do you agree with that, Jessa?
Yeah, I would agree. Like highest likelihood for success, I think go Trayson. Like that's the safest bet. I also think he can rally the locker room. Like the risks
Mm.
just go down. Leadership, I think guys will buy in. Physically, like I think he can take some hits. He's what,
So
6'2", 205 or something.
Oh
So
wow. Okay.
yeah.
Okay. You guys, okay, that makes me a little excited. I gotta
But this is
do
why it's
some
a
Python
battle,
research.
right? I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
it's
yeah.
going to be interesting. But I think we're all in agreement that if McKay goes out there, we're going to be. I am clicking the panic button if McKay goes out there on the
Yep.
first game,
Yep. Absolutely.
smashing it. Yeah.
He's
Now,
gonna be a fun third down red zone quarterback, but not a starter.
no, no. But I mean, all that being said, he probably is going to be the starter now because we've all said that we don't want him to be.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
that's just how it works. Next question, Eli. The Holy War, BYU, Utah. Obviously, I mean, we heard Jacob's thoughts on the subject last episode. I don't think there's a ton of optimism going around Cougar Nation that we're going to beat Utah, but there's a lot of hope that we will, but not a lot of think. Where do you stand?
I think there is hope. And here's my reasoning. Um, Again, a little bit of some stat head research. BYU's 13-7 when we've played over the last 20 years when we've played at Lavelle Edwards. So we have that. We have the 2 years in a row going for us. Um, and Cam Rising isn't playing either. I
Oh,
which I think is a great thing. But and Jake actually did, or I think it was you, Jessa, that said this. I loved your point about this. I think it was you, Jessa, about like emotion, like how much BYU plays off emotion. Was that you that said that in the last podcast?
that's a stance I take. Yeah, we're a very emotional team.
Yes, except seemingly when it comes to the Utah game. I
Yeah, because
feel like
Kalani's like, they're our brothers. Don't
right,
hit him too hard.
right. You guys grew up with these kids, man.
Yeah.
Um, I think that we need to positively fuel that emotion into strictly the defensive side of the ball. And this is where my hope comes from because Jay Hill is a man among men, and I think he needs to fire up his boys. And like Dampier, like not a great passer. 12-12 last year, but the dude had 19 rushing touchdowns and 1,100 rushing yards. Like
Yeah,
he
he can run.
can run. He had 6 games where he got over 100 yards last year. That's
On the ground.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yes, that's insane. So I think if Jay Hill comes into the game and he's like, guys, I do not care if they throw over our heads. We are holding Dampier to under 50 yards rushing. And if we can get 2 sacks and at least a turnover, I think we win the game. Those are my metrics for BYU winning the game. If our defense shows up in the Vel Edwards, gets some big plays early on, I think the momentum is going to be in our favor.
I want to sit next to Eli at the Holy War. That's the energy we need. Cautiously optimistic, right?
Yep.
Very
Eli,
cocky.
I'll be expecting another phone call at 2 a.m. Eastern time. Wake me up from my slumber.
Is that what happened
That's-
last year? Because you turned the game off and Eli
Oh
called
yeah.
Yes.
you?
Eli, I don't even know what point it was, but Eli called me and he's like, "Do you want to know?" And I was like half asleep, and I was like, "Only tell me if good triumphs over evil." And he's like, "All right, I'll call you back." And then he hung up. And it was like 10 minutes later that he called me. He's like, "Go turn on the TV."
Because I think it was the last drive when they were starting that last drive that I called him. And you probably would have turned off the TV after that fourth down play if you had to see.
I
I
did.
wouldn't have seen the flag. I
Did
would
you
have seen the
really,
flag.
I
Jessa?
did. After that fourth down play, because we were driving home from St. George, and
Yes.
I just like turned it over and put and I remember laying my head back, and Doug was driving, and I was like, we just lost to Utah. Then the morning began, and then I turned over and I opened up CBS Sports and saw that we had the ball back. I was like, what in the world? So then I turned it back on. But yeah, crazy.
What a time.
Ridiculous, man. What a
What a
time.
time.
I don't miss it. I don't
No.
miss that moment. That was the
No.
worst. We
It-
won, but
That
at what
whole game
cost?
sucked, man. That game sucked up until like the last 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Aye, aye, aye. And then the aftermath was incredible. I don't
Oh.
think I went to bed until like
Oh,
4 or
yeah.
5 after that.
So good.
That
So
was
good.
crazy.
On
Always so
Twitter to this day, because Mark Harlan, right, is the AD
Oh, yeah.
over at Utah. To this day,
Still
you guys
crying.
know Boney Fuller on Twitter.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
To this, every time Mark Harlan tweets, Boney Fuller will say, "Oh, I haven't seen you this excited since you walked on the field during a live play." Every time. He's like, "Oh, remember that one time you walked on a field during a live play?" Like, oh my gosh, so
It's
funny.
so good. I
That's
love
amazing.
that. BYU Twitter is just great. So
It is.
So good.
Yeah.
Eli, I mean, we've asked you a bunch of questions. We hear that you have some questions for us, though.
I do.
So some guest interviewing going on here.
Yep.
Let's hear it. What do you got?
Okay, so this is a bit of a broader topic, you guys, but um, as a college football fan, I, like Jacob, I've adjusted my expectations for this year. And I'm like, you know what? And I have a discussion point on that about the spending. We can talk about that just a sec. But what are you guys's like? Give me a couple teams to watch this year that ESPN has not like shoved down my throat. Like not the Alabama and stuff like that. Like, what are a few, maybe top two, three teams for both of you that you're going to be watching that because it's fun, because there's an interesting storyline, etc.
Jesse, you want to take this one?
Okay, I really like Jared's though. Like I'm looking at them, and I really like them. Okay, my first one is kind of a dark horse, but I'm actually gonna take it back. It was Illinois based on the numbers, but then I looked at their schedule from last year, and they played nobody, and honestly, like didn't play well. And so let's see. I'm just gonna read some schedule for you. So this is not the let's see. Oh, maybe I can't find it from 24, 26. Anyways, they didn't play anybody and they won games really close. This year, they don't play anybody. Anyways, so that was one, but I took that off my list because actually, statistically, I actually think they're a little bit of a fake good team. They're being hyped up.
Fraud.
Yeah, yep, they're on fraud watch.
F word alert. F word alert.
Yes, yes, but I do have two teams that I'm actually gonna watch, and I'm actually gonna enjoy watching. Louisville. I'm really interested to see how the USC quarterback, I'm blanking on his name.
Oh,
Miller Moss.
Moss. Yes,
Louisville?
the transfer.
They've got a really good running
No
back.
way.
And I thought they showed signs last year of being a good team, so I think they'll build on it. So Louisville is my dark horse in the ACC. And then this one is just one that I'm really going to enjoy watching. Utah State. I'm like rooting for Bronco. This is the first time in a really long time that I'm rooting really hard for Utah State. And I'm really excited for them to take a jump because I trust Bronco as a head coach. So those are my 2.5. Jared, what you got?
Jess, I will say I also I had Utah State on my list, and
Nice.
I'm very excited to watch Utah State. Very, very excited.
They got two SEC teams on their schedule.
Right. They go to
That's
Vanderbilt.
so fun. That's so fun.
Yeah, that game against Vanderbilt, that's going to be a fun game.
That's going to be so sick. And then they play at A&M, which.
Oh yeah.
But that's sick. Continue, Dave.
It's very fun, and it's Bronco. I mean, come on, we're all going to be rooting for him. And they can't break any of our quarterbacks' legs this year, so that's great.
Yeah, that's great.
All right, first team is Washington. Washington flew under the radar, right? Head coach Jed Fish, he was at Arizona. That was like when I was just clamoring on like the podcast with my buddies. This is the team they covered like every single week. They went 2-10, but they covered every single week. They were in a dogfight every single week. I freaking love that team. They were just a moneymaker on our little picks thing. He's now at Washington, taking over for what's his bucket, Kalen DeBoer, who went to Alabama. They have this quarterback. His name is Demond, but I think you pronounce it Demond or like Demond. So obviously that's sick. But Demon Williams, he's a baller. That like Washington put together like low key, kind of a good run last year. They didn't like obviously surprised they went 6-7, right? Lost to Louisville by one in the bowl game. Um,
Mm.
they got blown out at Penn State, at Oregon. They lost by 2 touchdowns to Iowa and Indiana. But all their other teams, like they looked good and they looked like a team that was building. And this year they have a much easier schedule. They do play Ohio State, they do play Oregon, of course, but they don't get Penn State. They get Maryland, Rutgers, Wisconsin, Purdue, UCLA. Like they're basically gifted a bowl game, right? And their non-con is Wazoo, Colorado State, and UC Davis. So I
And
think
who
this is going to be a
knows?
team,
I was gonna say who knows what Oregon's gonna be. You know,
right?
we're
Yeah,
Ohio
they have
State.
a exactly, and they get Ohio State like week 4, right? So
At home in Washington.
yes. So I think this is going to be a very interesting team. I don't know if they're going to be like a A-list team, like up there with the Georgia and Ohio State, but they're going to be the team that's, fighting with the 8-4 SEC team to
Mm.
get into the playoff. I think they'll be a fun watch.
Dude,
My second team is
I love
Georgia
that.
Tech. Okay. Now, obviously, this is close to me. Um, Georgia Tech is a freaking baller. This is a fun football team. They're like their quarterback is the definition of grit. He played like 3 games with a broken rib last year, and he's a running quarterback. Like he's not all that great of a thrower, and yet he's running like quarterback read options against freaking Miami in like week 11 with a broken rib. And it's Haynes King, if you remember him. He got kicked out of
Oh,
Texas A&M
yeah.
because he wasn't good
Yeah.
enough, right?
Yep.
Goes to Georgia Tech. Now he's a baller. This is just like a super super fun gritty team. And let me read you their schedule this year. Okay, at Colorado, which obviously is going to be so hard because Colorado's so good. They're like
So
top
good.
tier. They're going to make the playoffs. All that good stuff,
Pencil them in.
right? You got the retired jerseys of the second overall pick and the other NFL player that may or may not make a roster. But you get at Colorado, Gardner Webb, then you play Clemson at home in week
Oh.
3, which me and Kinley may or may not be in attendance for that one. Then you
So
get Temple, Wake Forest, Virginia Tech, Duke, Syracuse, NC State, Boston College, and Pitt, all before you play Georgia. Like they could be 10-2, easy. Like without breaking a sweat, they could be 10-2. They
that's
returned most of their guys
crazy.
from last year. This is going to be a team. I don't know if they're going to make the playoffs, but they should be in the ACC championship game right alongside Clemson.
Dude, they missed Miami and Louisville, and they get Clemson at home. That's
They
Hmm.
don't play
crazy.
Louisville,
No, that's nuts, man. Do you
and
know
they
what the
underperformed last year, from what
Yeah,
I'm understanding. Well, 4 losses. I guess they finished 9-4, but
9-4? That's not bad. Do
mhm.
you know what the Georgia Tech Clemson game feels and smells like? It feels and smells like a game that Clemson's going to go in and get stomped, and then the committee is just going to forget about
100%.
at the end of the season because it happened in week 3, and Cade Klubnik was just pressured by all the fans at Georgia Tech.
Oh yeah. No, that's definitely where that one falls. So yeah, those are my
Those are
teams.
great teams, you
Those
guys.
are
I love
so
it.
good.
Very
Louisville, Utah
watchable
State,
teams too.
Washington, Georgia Tech. All right, 3, 2, 1. All right, we're back. Thank you, Zoom, for allowing us to do 40-minute free episodes, just back and forth, the two of us. Um, we're back. Where were we? We were talking about our teams, very watchable teams: Washington, Georgia Tech, Louisville, and Utah State. Um, yeah, you're gonna get a good spread there. Great spread.
I'm very excited.
Yeah, Elliot, do you
Very
have
excited about
teams
that.
that you're watching?
No, no, you guys, I haven't done much research on other football teams other than my own this year. So honestly, very helpful. Um, my other two questions for you guys were, and then I would love to have a quick discussion on the spending thing. But my other
Oh
two
yes.
questions for you guys were, what are the games you're most watching forward to? Sorry, what are the games you're most forward? Oh my gosh, you're most looking forward to watching? One for BYU, and then one national game that you're looking forward to. And then who's one player that I should be looking out for, who again, ESPN hasn't already shoved down my throat?
Which one do we want to start with? Jessa, you just take it however you want to.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm gonna start with the game that I'm most excited for, or that I actually think is a big game that's flying under the radar, which is the game against TCU this
Mm.
year. Um,
Or
I mean, last time game day was in Provo, we lost to TCU.
Oh,
Got what?
brutal.
Old
smack.
conference rivals, right? Like,
Yep.
yeah, yeah. So, and I also think that they're going to be good this year. Like Jared and I have talked about that. We think TCU is going to be good. And so I really want to just smack them in Provo this year. So I'm really excited for that game.
That
That's
game's in Provo.
yeah,
That's so sweet,
yeah.
man.
Super
Great
exciting.
game. Great call out, Jess.
Yeah. What about you, Jared?
Um, for me, I'm going with the Texas Tech game. It's after a bye week for us. I mean, obviously we have Utah and then at Iowa State and then a bye week and then we go to Texas Tech, so it's a long time away from home. And playing in front of the fans, that kind of thing. I'm excited A because we're wearing all royal for that, which means they're either going to go all white, all red, or all black. Either way, that looks sick against all royal. And I think Texas Tech is such an interesting team. Like they just like they kind of did, and it's kind of unprecedented what they did. Like they just went out and they spent a bajillion dollars as like not a lower tier P4 team, but just like a random ass like average P4 team, and they just went and spent a bajillion dollars on trying to make their team better. Like, is it going to work? Like,
Yeah,
it worked in
yeah,
softball because they got like one of the best pitchers in the nation, but like, is it going to work in college football? So I'm super interested to see how that plays out. And I think BYU will be at a point in the season where we know exactly where we are. And so if we know where we are and we go up against Texas Tech and we know where they are, like that's just a great measuring stick for the future of, hey, what's going to work in the Big 12? Is it going to be development and recruiting high school and working your guys up, kind of like we have seen Kalani mention, or is the way to go just buying a bunch of transfers and then seeing how it plays? So that has
Mm,
my attention.
interesting. I
that's
love
really
that.
interesting. Do you want to go to national games? Was that the next one, Eli?
Yep, national games.
Okay, so I have a couple, but honestly, I'm really looking forward to App State at Boise State in week 5.
Whoa.
Talk
Tell me
about
why.
talk about two, if you think about G5 teams who've made a splash, like you've got App State and Boise State. I
Oh,
wish it was in Boone. Was it
Mm.
Boone, North Carolina? Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I wish it was there, but it's on the Smurf turf. Anyways, like that's a matchup we just don't see very often. So that's kind of
right.
a random one that I'm really excited for. Also, Boise State without Ashton Genty, what are they going to be?
Yeah.
They going to be this like unbeatable Mountain West team, or are they going to kind of come back down to earth? So we'll see.
yeah. And
Ashton
true
Gibson.
lovers of college football are going to appreciate that game because I mean, what are the two most iconic G5 like college football moments of all time? App State beating Michigan and Boise State winning the Fiesta Bowl.
Yep.
So like just the history and the pageantry of that game, who's the best of the G5? Like, yeah, that chef's
Yep.
kiss to
And
making that happen.
game day should be in Boise that week. And I will die on that hill.
It's
Go
gonna
to
be in
Oh, because
Boise,
Kentucky,
it's
gosh
Florida.
dang it.
It's gonna be a Kentucky, Florida.
Yeah,
yeah,
I
one
bet.
100%. Wisconsin, Nebraska, definitely.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, so I have a couple.
What's
I
yours,
mean,
Jay?
obviously, like we're just going like the best. Penn State at Ohio State, and then Texas at Georgia. Like those are the
Ooh,
ones that
love
are
that.
going to. Who is Ohio State? Can Penn State be the front runner? And then you have Texas, who's supposed to be like God's gift to football this year, playing Georgia, who sucked last year. Let's be honest, and Texas couldn't beat them twice. So I mean, those are very interesting storylines. But to kind of go Jesso's way, I know I'm giving you too many games, but Week 1, August 28th, another Boise State game, actually. They go to USF on Thursday night, opening week of college football. So there's week
Wow.
0, 4 days, Thursday, 5:30, prime time, 5:30 Mountain, prime time, ESPN, Boise State at USF. Those are supposed to be like two of the 5 best G5 teams. Like these are supposed to be the front runners for the G5 playoff. And then Michigan and Nebraska as well, because that game is going to decide, is Nebraska ever going to be back, or was Michigan really just cheating? And I think that's going to be a game that tells you kind of where those two programs are headed, and it'll say a lot.
Ooh, quarterback battle in that game. Bryce Underwood,
Oh, yes.
arguably, again, you talk about Arch Manning being overhyped. Bryce Underwood never taken a snap. Like I guess Lamar Jackson with Tim Tebow like all freaking combined. Like he's the greatest athlete that's ever been seen. And then you have Mr. Patrick Mahomes Jr., Dylan Raiola, who was really hyped and had an okay year last year. So that quarterback battle will be very interesting.
That is a
Yep.
great one. That's a great one, man.
Um,
It is of note, really quickly. I'm doing a dynasty with Ohio State right now. Played Michigan last night. Lost
oh
in triple overtime to Michigan.
no!
Well, because Bryce
I had,
Underwood is like a
yeah,
90 overall as a
yeah, no,
freshman.
he's insane. He's already a star player. He's like, yeah, he's just running all over the place. Yeah, I had to relive that horror all over again.
Disgusting.
Mhm.
Good on
Well,
you for not quitting and restarting before the
It
game
was
ended.
very tempting. Very tempting.
on that bombshell, the best player to have on your radar, I already said his name. It's Haynes King, Georgia Tech quarterback.
I
Like I
love
said,
that.
this dude's gritty. This dude is like put your body on the line, absolutely going to sacrifice all of it for the win. He is not going to play in the NFL. He is not good enough. He is a great college quarterback. And that's what people say about him, and they use it as an insult. I use it as that is my stamp of approval. I could not love you any more than if you were a great college quarterback. Just 10 out of 10 to watch, 10 out of 10 to just get in the fox. He's the guy you want in the foxhole with you.
That's awesome. I
I
love
love
that.
that. And I actually agree. Like Georgia Tech, yeah, that not I actually agree. Like that was on my list as well. Was Haynes King, but also the running back duo with Haynes King is interesting.
Oh,
Jamal
yeah.
Haynes. That one, two, you got Haynes King and Jamal Haynes. I don't know why this isn't a bigger national story.
Right?
Like ESPN, what do you do? That just by names alone, that's sweet. And they're so good together. And so I'm looking at him, but on my list, sticking with the TCU theme, Josh Hoover, I think, is an underrated quarterback. Um, I mean, we played him as a redshirt slash true freshman, and he cooked us. And
He
he's
ate
just
us
gotten
alive.
better. Yeah, ate us alive. So, I think he has potential to be what people think Sam Levitt is going to be.
Wow.
And Sam
Wow.
Levitt might be good, but I like Josh Hoover this year.
Wait, BYU played him?
Yeah, he was
With Keaton
the
Slovis.
2023
Oh,
at
That's why you
my
TCU.
can't
God.
remember.
No way. That's crazy. Wow.
Yeah, and it was his first start, and he just tore us
I
apart.
mean, classic BYU, right?
Yeah,
Making
of
a first
course.
start quarterback look
Oh,
like
of
a Heisman
course.
contender,
Yep,
Of
right?
course.
yep. So we were his coming
Um,
out party.
Yeah.
that, those are good ones, you guys. If I were to take one thing away from your answers, Georgia Tech, man. I gotta keep them on the radar. And TCU, Georgia Tech and TCU. Fun
Yep.
teams to watch this year.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Georgia Tech last year. I mean, Jessa was mentioning the running back and duo with Haynes King. Um, they had 271 yards of rushing offense last year when they beat Miami at home, and Miami was a number 4 in the country. And Georgia Tech handed
240.
them. Yeah, they were 4th in the country, 9-0. Georgia Tech. They came to Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech beat them. 99 yards of passing offense, 16 pass attempts, and 271 yards of rushing offense.
They only had 99 yards of passing
Yeah.
offense. Okay, yeah. So what you're saying about Haynes King, he's a pure runner archetype, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
He was 6 of 6 for 32 yards and a touchdown.
No
Let's
way.
go, man.
And
That
then he
is
had 20
insane.
carries for 100 yards and a touchdown. So,
Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah, that's a must watch for me. I love
yep,
that.
yep. Eli, I'm really interested to get to this conversation you had about spending in college athletics. I'm very
Yeah.
interested to see what you have to say here.
So would love your guys' thoughts. I actually went over this with Steve the other day. And maybe you guys knew this already. I did not know this. So out of 350 institutions in college sports, I think most of those are D1. Can you guys guess how many of those institutions are self-sustaining or athletic departments, right? Are self-sustaining or make a profit?
Oh,
And this
I
is
mean,
athletic departments or athletic programs in general, so all sports.
All sports, yep. Out of
Okay.
350, take a guess.
Okay, because this is important context because we know that like the small sports lose money,
100%.
that the big sports supplement, right?
yes.
Correct.
It's got to
Yep.
be
So
small.
there's 137, 136 FBS football teams. So any team that doesn't have an FBS football team, not making money. In This is my guess, right? Let's take
Unless you're
FBS
like a
football.
Gonzaga or a St. Mary's, maybe basketball.
Right, right. But that's like a handful of schools, right?
Correct.
I'm going to cut out most of the G5. I don't know if G5 contracts are going to make you any money. So we're looking at like 70 out of 350. Take Stanford out, take Vanderbilt out. Well, I mean, Vanderbilt gets the SEC check, I guess. I don't know. I'm saying like maybe 60 teams, maybe
Yeah.
60 programs.
What would you say, Jessa?
I was gonna say, I was gonna say like in the teens, like 20 to 15 programs,
Oh,
like the top three, two in each conference.
You're right on the money, Jessa. It's 25. 25 out of 350 institutions don't need student tuition or like institutionalized or institutional support to
holy
subsidize
cow.
their athletic programs. Isn't that crazy? When I heard that a couple weeks ago, I was like, wait a second. I always thought that like every like especially all the huge programs just made buckets of money, right? The top five most profitable, like at the top, you have your classic Georgia's number one, Ohio State's number two, Michigan's number five. Three and four were surprising. Do you guys want to take a guess at those?
I have
They're
no
surprising.
idea.
Will you give us
A little
conferences?
surprising. Yep. Big 12 and Big 10.
Hmm.
It's got to be a team that doesn't spend a lot.
Yeah.
That's in like a decent conference but doesn't spend a lot. That would be my guess. So
Smart.
I'm gonna guess like I don't know. I don't know. Is it be like Michigan State or something like that? I
Close.
don't know.
They're like,
Nebraska
okay.
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
and Kansas.
That would have been the team I chose the
Right?
last.
Right?
Yeah.
But it makes sense. They don't invest in their football team, or they haven't
No,
Right.
they
historically.
They're investing in
don't.
men's basketball,
It's
which
all
costs
basketball.
so much cheaper. That's
Right.
so interesting.
Right. Super interesting. And like the top of the list is all the teams you would, imagine, right? It's your big name schools. Interestingly enough, so this is where it got really interesting for me. The least profitable schools as of last year. Rutgers was up there because why not? They're just dog poop and
It's Rutgers.
yeah, it's Rutgers. Of course they're losing multi-million dollars. Um UCLA. They are on their sixth consecutive year of losing money
I mean,
from the
Wow.
athletic department.
look at their ticket sales. Like look at the Rose Bowl every Saturday.
And
Exactly.
they
Exactly.
were in they were in the Pac-12 for the last 10, 15 years too, and we all know how that turned out.
Yeah.
Exactly. Which for me is like a huge like of course they went to the Big Ten. Their check
Hmm.
was monumentally bigger when they went to Big Ten. Big Ten. That's like a no-brainer for them, right? And then this one was crazy. Alabama was at the bottom.
Really? So
Yes,
they must just pour money into the football program.
100%.
Yeah.
They're typically I again, this is someone needs to go and collate this data. Your guys' assistant, whoever that is,
Yeah, the
needs to
interns.
go.
We'll get the
Yeah,
interns on
yeah,
it.
the
The
interns
interns are
get
on it.
them on this. They lost $27 million last year. The Alabama athletic department did.
Last year alone.
Last year alone, $27 million.
So are they just like, and that debt just accumulates, right?
100%. And I don't know the specific financials of it all, right? But in my head, I'm like, okay, so shouldn't that mean that they have a really sucky year or that they just can't sustain like if a program just lost $27 million, if an NBA team lost $27 million, right, or an NFL team, they'd probably cut some corner, they'd cut some contracts, right? They'd try and get under, not that there's a salary cap in, college football, but there'd be some moving parts. And we just don't see that in the NCAA. And I went a little further and I was like, okay, how does this tie in with like TV money? And this was the part that was like pretty sad for me. It's pretty obvious, but it was kind of sad for me to realize. So the four big conferences, right? Their deals are as follows. The Big Ten, each school earns 70 to $80 million per year. SEC teams are earning $55 million per year each school. The ACC is 36 to $40 million per year, and then the Big 12 is about $30 million per year, $32 million a year. So I'm like, is it really a wonder why Alabama was making such a big deal, including the national media, that they weren't involved in the playoff last year? I'm like, of course, they need the money, dude. If they're not in the playoff, or if they're in the playoff, I don't know if they're in a $27 million hole,
Right.
even if they lose the
Oh,
first game.
Right.
So it just like and you look at the rankings, it goes Big Ten, SEC, ACC, Big 12. And the other point was like there was a really good argument, a solid, almost airtight argument that BYU should have made it to the playoff over SMU because
yep,
of our head-to-head
yep.
victory.
Hmm.
Guess who made it to the playoff? Not
SMU.
BYU.
Right.
Nope.
Right.
So I just and BYU is one of the few institutions that does profit off their athletic department.
Hmm.
So,
Let's go.
anyways,
Wait, wait,
I
wait.
don't.
I thought that members of the church tithing went directly to football players. What?
That that's where I write my check. I don't
That's
That's
know.
what
why
I
I pay
say.
tithing.
Fast
I,
offering? No. BYU Rider Lions Fund.
Ryder
AJ DeBounce.
Lions. That's where my money goes.
Yeah, I don't know. Mm.
Anyways, it was kind of jarring for me. I'm curious what your guys' thoughts are after hearing all that.
I mean, immediately once you said like Alabama lost a ton of money last year, my first thing is like they had Nick Saban for 10 years. Of course, they're budgeting for X amount of dollars from the national championship game and yada, yada, yada. So they don't make it. No wonder they're crying so hard about, the Oklahoma loss not mattering and strength of schedule, blah, blah, blah. And I think that plays directly into like why Greg Sankey is doing what he's doing. Like he is just completely unashamedly like trying to we see this in other giant political figures within the United States and global politics, not to get into specifics, but you spin narratives and you create this manufactured necessity or manufactured like supply and demand so that you can make more. Like it's all just about money and they want more money. It's a business, right? And so they want more money, so what are they going to do? They're going to create a college football playoff that gives them more money, and it's because of this, right? Like Greg Sankey has the team presidents or the college presidents and administrators breathing down his neck about, hey, we're making all this money and we're spending money to make money, so we need to make more money. And so then he's going to go to bat to in order to make them more money. And then what do you lose in all of that? The fact that we're playing a game and a sport and it's fun and it's supposed to be for the fans. And that's what gets lost is because of that need for money, so that you don't have the billionaires talking to the AD about their booster money. So the AD talks to the conference commissioner, and then we get where we are today. That's kind of where my mind goes.
Man, I feel like because obviously you see there's bias, right? At a surface level, you're like, they're biased. But then you put these facts behind it. And I'm waiting for somebody maybe in 10 years to do like some kind of unknown type documentary where they dig deep into really the conspiracy, right? You could call it the conspiracy because they're conspiring together for things. And the saddest part to
Exactly.
me is I think we can all say that we fell in love with college football because like I I hate it. Yes, well, I have my feelings about ESPN, right? But I love their tagline, "The greatest story ever played," right? Like that's why we fell in love with college football because of kids telling stories through the storylines, right? And the relatability of these are college kids, and you know, and so at face value, that's why we fall in love, and that's why the sport is as popular as it is. And like you said, Jared, it's they're kind of manipulating it to
Mm-hmm.
become a money machine.
100%.
And that's really
100%.
discouraging. Like, yeah. And it is the big dogs, right? It's the
Mm-hmm.
SEC and the Big Ten who are in playing this game and taking advantage of a sport that people love. And so that's what makes it sad. And I want that to stop. I don't know how we get
Yeah.
there, but
Well, and you even think of why the Big Ten and the SEC have all this money or have all this power is because the little dogs, ACC, Big 12, G5, they came to the SEC and the Big Ten and said, "Hey, we'll give you guys all of the power, all of the decision making power, so that we can be included in the pie." Right? Like they gave them all the power so that they could get money, which then leads to the Big Ten and the SEC wanting more money, and so they're going to cut the pie however they want so they can get money, and it's all just about money, 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 money. And everybody forgets about like First Timothy 6:10. The root of all evil is the love of money, and that's why college football is in the dump right now.
yeah.
That's
Yep.
way to tie it back to Christianity, Jared. I love that. And I think it'll be really interesting, especially over the next 5, 10 years, to see if we still get Boise States, if we still get App States beating Michigan, at home, right? Because I think just with the disparity, and this is not anything new, right? This has all been talked about already, but all of that money being funneled into the big dogs is just like if I'm James Madison University football team and I'm losing a couple $1 million a year, why is the school voting to keep my program? Like why is the school board saying no, we should keep football, Why is the school board voting to keep what is not Utah Tech football team around, right? It just like I think it's going to be really interesting over the next few years to see where this goes. And yeah, I really do hope that something can be done, and I'm not sure what that is. I hope smarter people than me are working on that. But like it just you follow the money, and it can be disheartening to see.
Yep.
Follow the money and see where it goes. It's like Hamilton.
Right. Right.
It's exactly the same thing.
Yeah, my hate for the SEC grows every day. Because at the end of the day,
Faster
I
than their
mean,
pocketbooks, surprisingly.
yeah, call us idealistic, but at the end of the day, I think it should be about the athletes in the game. Like,
Yep.
can we please get back to, I don't know if it ever was like that, but I'd like that illusion to become reality.
Yes. Well, it's funny that you say
Yeah.
that because I know we've been going a long time, but I do want to tie it back to something positive, tie it back to the game itself at the end of this podcast here. So we are going to do a quick team draft. We're going to do a snake draft of teams we think are going to make the college football playoff this year. Thank you for sticking through us through that very depressing, very just greedy money eyes emoji conversation. I mean, it's an important one to be had because
Yeah, I was
we
gonna
have to
say,
we have to talk about it because the true definition of evil is when good people do nothing, right? And not to get political here, but in order to make change, you have to be vocal and talk about things that are wrong. And that's what we're going to do here because we love college football.
amen.
Great way to finish it, Jared. Love it.
Okay, to kick off this draft, Elliot, since you are the guest, you get to decide what order we go in. It'll be a snake draft, so you can either go first, second, or third, knowing that it's going to come back around the opposite way in the second and fourth round.
You know what? I'm gonna take the first pick this time. Let's go me, Jessa Jared.
Okay,
Okay.
let's do it.
And with my first pick, I will take The Bulldogs. I'll take Georgia. Sad. As
Really?
much as it pains me.
Gunner Stockton.
Gunner
Yeah,
Stockton.
I feel like they're just gonna be good again. They gave us a much needed break from, just running over everyone last year, but I think they're gonna be back.
And let's be honest. I mean, how many losses does Georgia need to not make the playoff? Five,
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
right? Like
There's no way they get left out this year.
Yeah.
they're
Especially
untouchable.
when the SEC eats itself alive, eats each other
Right.
alive again
Right.
because
Oh
they're
yeah.
really good and not really bad. Yeah. They can
100%.
buy four losses in there.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I'm next, right?
Yep.
I'm going Clemson. They've got
Okay.
they've
Oh.
got the most returning talent, and they play in the ACC. So that's all you need to say about
Cakewalk.
Clemson, because I think their defense actually is going to be good, and it's Clemson, so the media loves them. I would be really surprised if they didn't get in.
Very smart. That's a great pick. Um, I I have to go with Ohio State. Obviously, repping the Buckeyes. Unfortunately, this is also a lot because of the name and the brand. But like, look at who we play, right? We play Texas. Okay, say we lose that game. We play Penn State. Say we lose that game. Then we play Michigan. Say we lose that game. Oh, 9-3 Ohio State is making the playoff in every single iteration of the entire universe. Every single multiverse has a 9-3 Ohio State in the playoff. Now, I I don't think we're going to lose to Michigan. I don't think we're going to lose to Penn State. But even if we do, like we're we're still going to make the playoff. So
Yeah, and I wouldn't put money on them losing to Texas either.
Yeah.
If
Yep.
our prediction about Arch Manning coming through and
yeah,
Ohio State's defense, then I don't know. Yeah,
and we forget it's at the shoe. Like
Yeah.
Texas thinks that the Daryl K. Royal is basically the shoe except smaller. So like yeah.
They
Anyway,
got an early morning game.
yep. All right, my next pick. This is a tough one. I'm trying to decide if I should go with another front runner because we have those big boys out of the way.
yeah, one from each conference. This is interesting.
Yeah, I was gonna kind of go with a wild one, but I'm just gonna stick to the guns, and I'm gonna go Penn State. I
Yeah.
think. I mean,
Good
like,
pick.
let's be honest. Let's look at Penn State's schedule, shall we? Non-con, Nevada, FIU, Villanova. Who are the best teams they play? Ohio State, Oregon. 10-2 Penn State made the playoff last year. 10-2 Ohio State's making the playoff this year.
Yep.
Mm. Good picks. Good picks. Top of the Big Ten. Is that back to Eli?
No, it's you, Jessa.
Oh, it's me.
It's you, yes, yeah.
Oh, okay. Here we go, guys. Do we take the first Big 12 team off the board? Here's the problem. It's not that I
Yeah.
doubt multiple Big 12 teams will get in. It's which Big 12 teams. That's the
Right.
problem.
You gotta
because
pick the right
it's
one.
wide open.
Yep.
So I'm actually not going to take a Big 12 team. We're going to go back to the SEC. And we are going to take Texas.
Dang it.
Okay, I was wondering when they'd come off the
That's
board.
the right
Yeah,
pick.
for this, I think Georgia
That's
and
the right
Texas are
pick.
going to be right back up there again because of the name, right? But I also need to look up their schedule to see where they go. But while I'm doing that, Eli, you take yours.
Well,
But
and
remember, this
hearing
is an
from-
exercise of not who we think is going to be the 12 best teams. This
Yeah.
is who we think the committee is going to think the best 12 teams are.
True. Then
Right.
Texas is a safe block, like easy money.
That's an incredibly safe
Yeah.
block. Texas is going to have to go 8-5 or like 7-6 to not make the playoff.
Yeah, I agree.
Right?
And again, from an entertainment value perspective, how much finagling is ESPN going to do to get Jeremiah Smith, Arch Manning, Cade Klubnik in the playoffs?
Easy.
You
Easy.
know it's going to be disgusting, but
Yep.
they're going to make it happen.
Okay, their schedule is laughable. Really quick.
You
ready for this?
Let's hear it. Yeah.
So Ohio State week 1, right? That's
Uh-huh.
I'm looking at this. I think that and Georgia are their toughest games on the schedule.
Wow.
They go San Jose State, UTEP, both at home. Sam Houston, the juggernaut,
Classic.
at home. At Florida, so at the Swamp. Trap game?
No
maybe?
DJ Lagway.
I don't know. Yeah, DJ Lagway is hurt again. Just FYI, everybody. Surprise. Red River Shootout, Oklahoma, Kentucky, Mississippi State, Vanderbilt. Then they go to Georgia. That's a tough game. Versus Arkansas, and then they end with Texas 8-4 A&M.
What a brutal schedule.
Oh my gosh! So again,
BYU would be lucky to win one game on that schedule.
Yeah, exactly. It's just different, guys. It's just different.
It's just different.
I mean, that run of Florida, Oklahoma, Kentucky, Mississippi State, and Vanderbilt, BYU doesn't play 5 teams that weren't bowl eligible last year. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I don't see 2 losses on that schedule. Like if Texas is everything that they say.
Yes.
So
Right.
Texas is in.
That's a great pick, Jess. That was going to be mine. So my 2, I'm actually going to take first one being LSU for a similar reason. Their schedule is
Smart.
pretty caked up.
Interesting.
They have some tough ones. They go to Bama. They get A&M at home. They go to Ole Miss. I don't think Ole Miss is going to be that good this year, though.
I mean, let's be honest, they haven't been good. They've been talked up.
Yeah, that's
Jackson Dart. I think Jackson Dart is really good, or was
Right.
really good at Ole Miss. So
right.
losing him, I think they're going to slide backwards.
Yep. Geez, I've only got SEC teams right now. I'm going to mix it up. Give me Notre Dame.
Oh,
Plug and
good
play
one.
quarterback, and then their running back. What's the running back's name again?
Jeremiah Love.
Yeah, that guy's maybe a sleeper, like Heisman pick. Probably not. They're not going to give it to a running back. What am I talking about?
Objectively, just looking at the numbers, he's supposed to be the best running back in the league this year.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
he's the one with the highest production coming back as a returning starter.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah. Should be crazy. Okay, it's not back to me, is it?
Yeah.
Dude, going second is like
real quick note on Notre Dame. Let me tell you their incredible schedule they got
let's
here.
hear it.
At Miami with Carson Beck, so easy dub. Then they get Texas A&M at home, Hunter Wegman, or he's not even there anymore, but Texas A&M sucks, okay? Listen to this brutal schedule, okay? Purdue, Arkansas, Boise State, NC State, USC, Boston College, Navy, Pitt, Syracuse, and Stanford. It's the ACC with a couple of G5 mixed in there. Like, Notre Dame's a lock. Notre Dame is a lock.
Yeah,
for
they're a
the
lock.
college football playoff.
Well, I
Which
mean,
one of those?
Go ahead. No, you go, Eli.
Which one of those teams would you put money on that Notre Dame's going to lose to and the committee's going to overlook?
See, you would think it would be like a USC or a Texas A&M, but really, we're looking at like Pitt, right?
Yes.
We're looking at the worst team on the schedule. This is going to be Purdue that beats them.
Right. I'm looking at Boston College. I think they lose to Boston College, and
I love that.
The butt chin guy, and they're going to overlook it. The committee.
Yeah.
100%. Sorry, back to you, Jessica.
Okay, well, guys, I think we might be taking the first G5 or the only G5 team off the board right now. I'm going to say Tulane makes it.
What?
I'm saying Tulane makes it. Let's pull up their schedule.
That is
and it's
sick,
our
man.
American conference, not American Athletic. Just American.
Just the American.
Their new schedule, their new Eagle mascot. That's really cool. Okay, they're out of conference, is as such. They get Northwestern at home. Winnable game.
Winnable.
At South Alabama. South Alabama lost like huge producer in Gio Lopez to North Carolina. Their quarterback that just ran all over. And then they play Duke. And that's kind of they might drop that game. Right. But out of conference for the G5, if you drop a game, you're very much still in it. If it's a Power 5 team that you lose.
You just have to be the highest rated G5 team at the end of the year. That's all.
Oh, we've talked about their schedule, Jared. Now I'm looking through this because they go to Ole Miss, and that's probably their loss, is what I'm thinking. Right. And then at Tulsa versus East Carolina, that'll be a good game. Versus Army, that'll also be a good game. At UTSA, at Memphis versus FAU, at Temple versus Charlotte. So actually that 4-game stretch is kind of tough. East Carolina, Army, UTSA, and Memphis. But
that's the kind of stretch in a schedule that will get you rated above a 10-2 Boise State, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Like that's a respectable little stretch there that will bump you up above the other liberties and such.
Yeah, totally. And I will say 50% of that is emotional because I want to see Jake in the playoffs. We're going to be ready.
I love that. Oh my gosh, I forgot about that. Yeah, that's a great pick, Jess.
Is that what it is?
Damn, dude. All right.
All right. Um, everyone's gonna hate me for this next pick. I'm going with Alabama.
Would
Okay,
not surprise
because
me.
exactly the
It was coming.
conversation that we had, right? The amount of complaining that happened in the SEC offices last year when Alabama didn't make the playoff, it guarantees that Alabama is going to make the playoff. Like, there's going to be a death threat. Like, freaking Kingpin is going to walk in and rattle off the names of all of the little committee members' grandchildren and say, I know exactly where they are and what they're eating for breakfast, and I'll kill them all if you don't put 5 SEC schools in the playoff. So there's no way Alabama doesn't make the playoff this year. Even if they have 4 losses, frick, throw them in there. Um, this last one is going to be a tough one because I really want to pick a Big 12 school because we haven't picked one. But I really don't know who it's going to be. So
Yeah.
I'm going to go with what me and Jessa were saying earlier in our first episode. And I'm actually going to put Baylor down.
I like it.
Even
Whoa.
even though their coach was quoting the Wolf of Wall Street and being all weird about it, I'm going with Baylor. I kind of am just thinking like Big 12 champ insert here, but I'm just guessing Baylor. They're going to have a win over an SEC school, and if they can end up winning the championship somehow, they're going to be my Big 12 pick.
Dang. Okay.
That's a really good pick,
That's
Jen.
a really good pick.
We'll
Very
see. If
smart.
they go 6-6,
Well,
not a good pick.
well thought out.
Yeah, we'll see. Now it kind of comes down to, in my mind, thinking out loud here, we only have two Big Ten teams. There's no way there's only going to be two Big Ten teams.
True.
In no world is there only going to be two Big Ten teams.
Right.
So kind of comes down to, and we've only got one ACC team, correct?
Yep.
So these last two spots really, it's kind of like it go up in the air. Okay, I'm just gonna shoot from the hip. And I'm gonna take Oregon for name
Nice.
recognition.
Smart pick.
And yeah, if their QB who's sat a year is any good, then they should be in the playoff.
Yep.
I love it. I love it. Is this my last pick?
Yes, sir.
So
Last slot.
I was about to choose a different team, and then I reminded myself what the question was. Not the best 12 teams, but
Correct.
who the committee is going to choose to be in the playoff.
Correct.
How many SEC teams do we have in there right now, Jared?
Not enough.
Georgia, Texas, LSU, Alabama. We only have 4. That's
only have
4
4.
fewer than there should be.
Wow. Well, make it 5. Okay. I'm just Hey,
We're keeping this in, Eli, by the way.
I have you.
In fact, we're gonna
Good.
do a hard cut when you say make it 5. Boom.
Make it 5. South Carolina was my last pick.
Yep.
Lenore
the Beamer
Sellers.
Mobile.
Yes, yes. And the only reason is because they have the 9th easiest schedule in the nation. And our boy, Kirk Benkert, plays with them a lot on CFP 26. So, yeah, 5 SEC teams. That sounds about right to make up for them not making the. Did they even make the Final Four? Yeah, they did.
No,
Wait.
they got killed by Ohio State. Tennessee? Oh, no, sorry, South Carolina.
No,
South
sorry,
Carolina.
sorry. I meant like the SEC. They had Texas in the Final Four, right? Was that it?
Yeah. It was
just
Texas, Ohio
Texas.
State, and then Penn State, Notre Dame.
Yeah, yep.
Penn
Yeah.
State couldn't complete a pass to wide receiver.
That's right.
Guys, let me tell you something, okay? We could all be right because we just picked 12 teams and we met all the criteria. There's an SEC school, there's an ACC school, there's a Big Ten school, there's Notre Dame, there's a G5, and then there's a Big 12. And then
That's crazy.
And then there's 6 other SEC/Big Ten schools. So we could be right. If we're right, we need to do something. We need to like go play a round of golf at Augusta or something because
100%.
that'd be very impressive.
Yep.
Is there a way to put money down on? There's got to be a way to put money down on that, right?
Oh, I'm sure.
These 12 teams making the playoff.
These 12, the odds you would get are probably astronomical.
Astronomical. I'll look into it.
Yeah. And the other thing I'll say, if we are right, this is gonna be a lame playoff. I'm
Oh,
not.
disgusting playoff.
Jared, you talked about this. You talked about this in the last episode. I will not be watching.
Yep. Nope.
So thanks. I might watch if Ohio State does well, right? Or like
Yeah.
if Tulane.
I'll
I'll
watch
be
the Ohio
watching for
State
Jake.
games. Yeah.
Yeah, right. But
You're telling
to
me
see
you're
South
telling me you're
Carolina
not going
versus
to watch
Georgia.
LSU Georgia? Yeah. And Notre Dame Texas? Come on.
Here's my question: Who does? Who does like that game?
Right.
The Russian bots, I guess. Like crazy.
The bots they use to pump their viewership numbers.
Sankey loves those. Sankey will be watching.
He must have a huge family, and he just has them all
Right.
watch them on
You just
individual
have on their
televisions.
individual devices.
Yeah.
I'll be watching the Charlotte Hornets take on the Portland Trailblazers at a 5:30 tip-off instead of the playoff game. That's where I'll be at.
Yeah. That's how bad it is. Watching
That's how bad it is.
NBA.
Oh, an
My
NBA
goodness.
regular season game.
NBA regular season league pass games. Ugh, yuck.
Remember to use a VPN so they don't black you out.
Yeah.
Right.
Anyway, this was a very fun episode. Very long episode, but it
Yes.
was very fun. Very, very fun. We hit a lot of topics. We got the highs, we got the lows, and
Yeah.
we got everything in between. This was fantastic.
This was
I
so
agree.
fun, you guys. I again, apologies for taking it so long. You guys are so fun to talk to. I'm very excited to see where this podcast goes. And yes, may the best dynasty person win the dynasty.
It's gonna be one of
if-
you two.
Eli
So.
does say that as the two-time reigning champ.
Yeah.
And he figured out he has a fast backup quarterback, so get ready for lots of, hey, let me make a little change here.
No, it's online now, so you just have to make the change once. And
I
you're
just
done.
have to make it once,
true.
dude.
Yeah.
And
so
with the roster update, they gave me this freshman who's like 90 on speed. So we're good, man.
I'll be
We're
turning
good.
that off real soon after this.
go nerf it.
Anyway, this was very fun. Eli, we'll definitely have you back on during the season. We want to hear your hot takes about how it's Gary time after Portland State. So we'll get ready for that. Anyway, thank you everybody for watching and listening, however you consume the podcast. Yeah, we'll see you again next time. I don't know when it'll be. We have no schedule. We'll be there next time. See you guys.
Love you guys. See ya.